Hi, and welcome to The Sound of Self, the podcast that's all about empowering women in their 30s to make mindful shifts, find their purpose, and step into their power.
This podcast is not just about discussions, it's a movement. We're here to break through the barriers that hold women back from freely expressing themselves. The world needs your unique voice, and we're here to help you find it.
So thank you for joining Jess and Erin on The Sound of Self. Let's unlock the power within and create a life that resonates with the true essence of you.
So welcome everyone back to the Sound of Self podcast. Today I have a phenomenal person who is a renowned hypnotist. His name is Ole Hill, and Ole really is creating waves in the world of hypnotism and what it means as someone who is basically changing lives and what he does. So I'm going to read a little bit about Ole first, some background. So growing up, Ole struggled with low confidence, social anxiety, and a deep fear of being his true self. Everything changed at 16 when he witnessed his father having a heart attack. Although his father survived, the moment became Ole's wake-up call, a stark reminder that life is short and can change in an instant. So determined to live without fear or limitation, Ole immersed himself in psychology, personal development. He became obsessed with understanding why some people achieve success and others remain stuck, which I think we can all relate to. The answer really is clear, the subconscious mind. So Ole, since then, has devoted his life to mastering hypnosis. He's a best-selling author and speaker, working with CEOs, international athletes, high achievers across the globe, helping them rapidly break through barriers, rewire their minds, and perform at their absolute best. He's also just a really cool person and has agreed to come onto this podcast today. So thank you so much, Ole.
Thank you for the lovely intro, Erin. And I'm excited because there really is a massive opportunity for all of us to use our brains better. So anyone listening right now is obviously in for a treat to learn how to master that and step into more of who we are, because I can tell from you and your audience, you know, we're caring people that want to do good things in the world. And so it's like an obligation to ourselves and to the world to make sure that we are doing everything that we can.
Exactly. And I was just asking before we started recording, what is hypnosis? If we really go to the basics of it, if someone was approaching hypnosis for the first time and what it all means, how do you explain that?
So for you, Erin, and for anyone listening, I want you to think, how many windows do you have in your bedroom? 3, 2, 1. Cool. You got the answer. Going there in your brain is leaving present reality and stepping into something else. Now, moving that way in your brain isn't necessarily productive, but hypnosis is the art of taking you somewhere other than when you are right now in order to achieve a productive result. So it's not mystical, it's not woo-woo, it's not magical. This is just an understanding of our psychology at the deepest level. We have the conscious mind, which is what we think with every single day, but it's actually weak and basically useless. What's actually dictating our life is the subconscious mind. Hypnosis is the art of distracting the conscious in a way that allows us into the subconscious, where we can make all those changes happen.
Yeah, and I love when I met you at Mic Drop, you did this amazing presentation on stage where you drew a big circle, because I'm a very visual person. And you said, okay, how much of the brain do you think is actually subconscious and conscious and, you know, awareness? And I think it was like the tiniest, was it 1% was actually our active conscious state and the rest was subconscious. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's less than 1%, right? The conscious mind controls and processes 150 to 250 bits of information per second. The subconscious mind controls and processes 150 million to 250 million bits of information per second. And so we're trying to use willpower, we're trying to use discipline and motivation to overcome what's actually happening at a subconscious level. It's like trying to cut your lawn with a pair of scissors, you know? You're using something that is just minuscule in capacity in comparison to what you're trying to shift.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. It's so crazy as well because we think we're making changes but then we find ourselves in the exact same position every year. You know how we all come to January, we're coming up to there soon going, oh, I'm going to do all these great things in January, and you make a New Year's resolution, and then it seems like every year you end up at the same spot because you're not actually doing the deep work of that mechanism that is running your program every single day. It's insane and frustrating.
Very frustrating. And it also is, it's what makes us blind to what's right in front of us as well, because we already have everything that we need. We already have everything that we need right now in order to make those changes that we're pushing off to January. And when January rolls around, we're pushing them off to March, because if your brain's programmed for it, your brain will find all the excuses, all of the justifications, all of the legit reasons in order to make you wait for that time period. So it's not that reality is as it seems. It's reality is whatever your brain is programmed to believe it is. So you have legit reasons for being where you're at, but they're only legitimate because your brain is the one convincing you that your excuses are valid excuses.
Yeah, and it's everything that you're perceiving from your perception, right? That's going to look totally different from someone else, say, standing 2 meters away from me. They're going to see it from totally different perception based on the programs that they have created within their brain.
Yeah, no one even sees the color red the same way. Like, we all perceive something as fundamental as color in a totally different way. They did research that shows that someone with social anxiety is 8 times more likely to interpret a neutral face as a negative one compared to someone who doesn't have social anxiety. So the people around us aren't even responding to us in the way that we believe they are. They're responding to us in the way that we're programmed to think they are, right? That person that hates you, it might be because you've moved forwards with that perception. And when you expect it, whatever you expect has to come into your life, because the subconscious cannot be wrong. This is why when I hypnotize someone to believe that I'm invisible, even if I'm right in front of their face, their brain doesn't let them see me, because the brain won't let itself be wrong.
Wow, I love that.
Mm.
It's so powerful. So tell me, Ollie, what was the turning point for you? I know it was when that incident happened with your dad, but what are some
Mm.
of the things that you overcame with hypnosis personally?
So I used to be so insecure, but it was paradoxical at the same time. And I know a lot of people listening will be in the same spot where you know you've got a lot of potential, but for whatever reason, something's holding you back from it, right? So my insecurity, my social anxiety, for me, I can vividly remember when I was 14 years old, I took a girl on a date for the first time. And we went to Hoyt Cinema, one of the bigger ones in New Zealand. And we were stood in the queue, and they used to have those like ropes that sort of section you off. So you zigzag in line. And I'm like sweating. I'm kind of going red as we're creeping forwards. We get around one turn, and the next turn, and then the last turn. And we're looking, and it's like cashier 1, cashier 2, cashier 3. Where are we going to go? We get to the very front of the queue, and I hand my girlfriend the cash, and I push her forwards because I couldn't even talk to a stranger. I couldn't talk to someone who was paid to talk to me. I made her tell him, yeah, we're watching blah, blah, blah movie. And for me, I had a girlfriend at the same time, right? So I'm clearly not totally socially incompetent, but at the same time, there's a part of myself that makes me high. So one part of myself was doing great, but I had another subconscious belief that made me act at a far lower, far worse, far more insecure level in another way. And so realizing those little paradoxes, realizing, okay, honestly, the thing that really made me know that I had to shift, other than seeing what my dad went through, that's what gave me the sense that I had to change this very quickly and
Mm,
do it immediately. But the realization that I had to change was going, okay, well, I've been all right with being weak and cowardly my whole life, but I'm not all right with my future son's father being weak and cowardly. Like if I had to go to the movies with my son and push him forwards because I still couldn't talk to strangers, I realized I wasn't okay with that.
Wow. What a powerful realization.
Mm. And taking the perspective of someone outside of yourself, I was on a consultation call with a suicidal client. He's coming in tomorrow for his first session, but that was just before this. And he said the only reason he hasn't killed himself is because of his kids. He made a promise that he wouldn't do anything that would impact their lives like that. And that's it's a good and bad mindset. I'll shift it tomorrow, but part of the intention is doing something for those outside of yourself because it's so easy to disappoint ourselves. It's so much easier to let ourselves down
Why
than
do
it
you think that is?
because we have only so much capacity. And when we're only taking care of one person, it's easier, right? But if you go to a buffet, all you can eat, but all you have to feed is yourself. I'm a I'm a 3 plate man and then maybe some dessert. Like I can tuck in,
Lucky.
but if I've got my family, or if I've got my family and my friends, or if I've got every client I've ever worked with and I have to feed them, I'm stacking up every single plate that I can. I'm grabbing every single bit. I'm finding ways to hold plates. I'm experimenting with new ways. I'm resting plates on top of my head just to find a way to get more out of myself. And
Mm.
so we are not stupid as humans with one of the best survival machines on the planet. So we learned to conserve energy. So you will not be creative, you will not be resourceful, you will not be intelligent and creative unless it's demanded of you. So if you're only stretching for the life of one person, you're only going to tap into the resources of one person. But if you're reaching to help others to do something significant for people outside of yourself, the demand is greater and therefore your effort and your capacity expands. We don't have effort that exceeds the task. We only have effort proportionate to the demands on our life. So we always need to stretch ourselves beyond what we're actually capable of, really.
And where do you think that would come in to say someone who's operating out of fight or flight? Because I know we talk about this a lot in the wellness world, being in survival mode and fight or flight. It sounds like it's coming from a place of love rather than survival sometimes. But how would you differentiate that with how the brain works and subconscious?
Yeah, 1,000%. Because at the same time, as I just said, do stuff for other people, ultimately, it's for us at the end of the day. How do we get the best out of ourselves? We do it for other people. But that's getting the best out of ourselves, right? And so a lot of women are caught in this paradoxical overworking. They burn themselves out. They're very yang instead of yin, just because the yang is so heavily promoted right now.
I wrote a song
But
called Yin and Yang once, exactly about that anyway.
yeah, and it's killing them and it's
Yeah.
horrendous. I see it far too often. I think the biggest thing is expanding our capacity because our 100% isn't actually the limit of life, right? And this has been proven so many times. The 4 minute mile, it was supposed to be physically impossible. They thought your heart would stop beating, your lungs would collapse, and your legs would break if you were physically running that fast. And then we found out, nope, humans can do it. And I think about 1,600 runners worldwide, the last time I heard that stat, have done it. So the thing is, what we perceive as 100%, a lot of women, they're not doing too much, but they're running too close to maximum capacity. So just for numbers' sake, let's say 100 tasks in a day is 100% of a woman's maximum capacity. It's not 100 tasks that's the issue. It's the fact that she's 100%. So if we can mentally rewire who she is to the point where 100 tasks is only 50% of her capacity, then she's not going to be burning herself out. She's not going to be frustrated. She's not going to develop endometriosis or all of these other conditions that are popping up, fatigue syndrome, POTS syndrome, all these psychological and physical conditions that are chronic fatigue syndrome. It's not the work you're doing, it's the percentage of your capacity that you're never backing down from.
So, how would someone increase their capacity? We were talking about you doing a process for us today, doing a hypnosis process.
So, for example, if you have your hands full of dog poo, then you can't grab the gold that's in front of you, right? So, we're so busy holding on to what doesn't serve us that we don't have any room to reach out and grab what's always been right in front of us. So, letting go of the past, letting go of a certain degree of trauma, when we make space, we then have more capacity. So, stress, financial, emotional, physical, sexual, relationship, business, career. There's only one stress bucket in our life, and all of these things go into it. And addiction, anger, frustration, depression, these are symptoms of your bucket being so close to full that when one teeny little tiny problem drops in, boom, you're overflowing, you're flooded, you're crashing, you're spilling everywhere. You're doing things that you don't want to do. You're doing things that you're going to regret just because you were so close to overflowing. You were so stretched beyond your limits already that you just couldn't handle. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I do relate to that with someone who does experience overwhelm, being a business owner and a female
Mm.
who's constantly running around doing a million things. So, yeah, I'm really keen to learn more about how I can increase my capacity. And I have been doing some of your hypnosis meditations, which I will note that he does have some really great ones on his YouTube channel.
Perfect. Cool. Let's get into it, right? And we're going to take this. I just want to make sure that anyone is listening stops driving, doesn't listen to this while driving. Listening to this before bed or right after waking up is the ideal time for listening. All that we're going to do, you can't be harmed. You can't not come out of it. It's a relaxing process. You don't need to expect, anticipate, or change anything. It's just surrendering. Whatever happens in your body is exactly what's supposed to happen. And I want to say that one more time because people are often like, should I be feeling something more? I'll repeat, whatever is happening in your body and brain, whatever it is, whatever questions or doubts are popping up, that's exactly what's meant to happen. And so surrender to the experience, surrender to the uncertainty, relax, let go. The fact that you've made it here is all that you needed to do. So if you want to get comfortable,
I'm going to be hypnotized, guys, just so you know. I'm joining you
boom,
in this.
nice. If you close your eyes now,
Yeah.
nice, and take a deep breath, finding your natural breathing rhythm, settling into it, just getting comfortable in your own tempo. Nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue breathing, making each exhale a little bit longer than the one before it. And in a moment, I'm going to count you through a series of breaths. We're going to do this box breathing style, and I'm going to take you through a 4-second inhale, a 4-second hold of that breath, a 4-second exhale, and a 4-second hold on empty. You don't need to force anything, just follow along to the sound of my voice and breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, nice hold. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, in. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, halfway. In. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, in. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, in. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4. Last 3. In. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4. Last 2. In. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4. Last one. In. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, and relax. Notice how you already feel a bit more calm, a bit more pleasant, a bit more relaxed. Now go ahead and keep your eyes closed. And using your imagination, I would like you to realize that I cannot do this for you. You have to do this for yourself. But if you follow my instructions, you will reprogram your subconscious mind for success. So now go ahead and take another deep breath. And as you exhale, let go of tension and negativity. And just make yourself comfortable now as you follow my instructions. Now, keeping your eyes closed, take another deep breath. And with every second that passes, just relaxing more and more, sinking deeper and deeper, letting go all the way down. Perfect, just like that. In and relax. Now, if you follow my instructions over the course of the next few minutes, you will not only feel amazing, but you'll begin this journey that allows you to reprogram your mind for the life that you want. So now, keeping your eyes closed, I would like you to use your imagination. And I would like you to imagine that your eyelids are beginning to get so heavy and so relaxed that in a moment, just for a little while, they begin to feel stuck. And when you've imagined that your eyelids are so heavy and so relaxed, not yet, but I will want you to test it out. Now realize if you imagine that you can open your eyes, instead of them being stuck, of course they will open. So I want to make sure that you are imagining your eyelids being so heavy and so relaxed that they are stuck, that you cannot open them. And when you've imagined that your eyelids are so heavy and so relaxed that they are stuck and you cannot open them, I want you to test it out and make sure you cannot. Perfect. And just let go. Let go all the way down, all the way deep. Just completely letting go of any worry or fear, any tension in your body, your chest, arms, legs, or mind. Just let it all go. And I want you to imagine that all your problems are gone. All your worries are floating out of your mind now with a cloud. There's a cloud in your mind that's floating in and taking all this negativity out and just floating away. allowing you to relax even deeper. You are fully focused on the sound of my voice and the words that I'm saying to you. And now I want you to imagine yourself at the top of a golden spiral staircase. And as you see yourself taking step after step down this staircase, you go 1,000 times deeper every single time. And as you start to approach the bottom, you see that there's a corridor. At the end of that corridor, there's 2 doors. And as you open the doors, you find that there's a bright light coming out of a room. And as you walk into this door, you find yourself in a movie theater. And you look up at this screen, and what you see on this screen is your life playing out in front of you. And there's actually 2 pathways. You start looking at the pathway to the left. It's a familiar path. You recognize the surroundings, the people on it. It feels very comfortable. It feels very known. This is also the path where your limited self exists. The limited self who feels overwhelmed, the version of yourself who never truly believed, the version of yourself who procrastinates, who has the fear of ultimately failing and not being able to help people, who think their goals are too much to ask for. Life is just okay. It's not terrible, but it's just okay. You find yourself at the very end of your life. In fact, you have 60 seconds left. You're laying there and your loved ones are looking down at you, and you can't help but feel this overwhelming sense of regret because you know you could have done more. You know that you didn't live up to your potential. And as soon as you realize what's happening, you immediately wake up and you turn all the way around and you come back to that fork in the road. And it's almost like a sigh of relief, because in this moment, you realize you do not have to choose to live that way anymore. Eyes open and sleep. Relax all the way down, all the way deep. 5, 4, 3, deep sleep. Every time I say the word sleep, going deeper and deeper. In fact, you can choose to not live by those limiting beliefs. In fact, the more you try to associate with those old beliefs and those old fears, the further away they become. The harder it is to even remember them because you have, in fact, forgotten them. They are removed from your subconscious mind, and the more you try to remember, the harder they become to remember. And you realize now, whenever some obstacle comes up, it just flows like water off a duck's back. Whenever somebody asks about your stress or your problems, you find it hilarious because you can't even remember what you were so worried about. And you know that every obstacle in your life that has ever come has faded. And you now know that these ones that seem so real right now will fade just too. And now as you look at this pathway to the right, the movie screen changes. This is the best version of your life. Healthy lifestyle. You have complete freedom location-wise, financially. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, whilst being fully authentic. Not only that, but your business is effortlessly making double what it used to make, because when you remove the illusion of those old fears that are now forgotten, the pathway just opens up. Freedom feels easy. Money feels easy. Success feels easy. And instead of being pushed out of fear, you're now pulled out of love. You're pulled out of inspiration, and you will not allow yourself to be living in regret anymore. That is not an option for you. You'll never waste a day. You'll never waste a moment, because you know how precious life is and how quickly it can slip between your fingers. And that urgency fuels you inside. In fact, it fuels you so much. As you take a deep breath in, you can feel the energy you're already gaining coming inside of you. And as you exhale, you can immediately feel all of the sensations flood your body. You can feel that inspiration. You can feel that urgency. You can feel that momentum. You find it so easy to do whatever it takes to get towards your goals, your best self. The version of you you've dreamed of becoming feels like nothing. It feels easy. You see your current self. You see this future self. And as you see them, they slowly start moving together. With 5, they get closer and closer. 4, even more still. 3, you feel completely relaxed. 2, they get so close together, they're almost merging. And 1, and sleep, they fully merge. And as they fully merge, you take a deep, deep, deep breath in, and you can now feel this version of yourself inside of you in this very moment. This is the most confident version of you that is immediately embodied. And as you wake up in a minute and come back in 3, feeling more confident, feeling more alive, in 2, feeling more energetic, feeling more inspired than ever, and 1, feeling completely worthy and ready to go, eyes open, wide awake, coming back in with every breath, zoning back in. Perfect. If you're at home, stretch it out, get moving, sit in it, soak in it, grab some water. Perfect.
Man, I love being hypnotized. It's great.
What stood out most to you?
Just the peace
Mm.
and the calmness of dropping into that state.
Mm.
Um, it's so humbling, and I think we're so stuck in our heads all the time, running around and worrying, and it's just what you said. Like you're running on this program that's actually you're not even aware of. The minute you create more space, which is exactly how I feel in my brain now,
Yeah, because none of
everything
it's
just falls
necessary.
into place. Yeah, that's it.
And it's other people's opinions. It's other people's nonsense. It's other people's rubbish that's just been piled in over time. We come in as a pure bundle of potential and then we get squished and
Yeah,
gross and uncomfortable. But that's not how we have to be at all.
exactly. So, Ollie, if someone wanted to work with you, how would they find you?
Yeah, the best way is to send me a DM so that I can see what you're going through. There's great videos on my YouTube for anyone that needs help. I've had a lot of clients where they send me a message, I see them 24 hours later, and they walk out a different person. Suicidal clients that have never even considered it since, and a lot more dramatic issues that everyone is convinced. They always tell me, I don't know if you can fix me. I don't know. I think I'm broken. I think my brain's messed up. I'm toast. And then they walk out realizing, oh, I don't see why this was such a big deal at all. There was never an issue in the first place. And that kind of awakening, that's why I do exactly what I do. I have monthly events, the hypnotic breakthrough method, where I'm taking people through that in person in the Gold Coast. Obviously, we can go a lot deeper in a full session online as well, but it just starts with a message. And you don't have to be committed. You don't have to understand exactly where you want to go, but you just have to know that you're not going to stop until you find out where that is. You know, you're going to take the first step.
Amazing, Ollie. Thank you so much for sharing your insight today in the power of hypnotism and the subconscious mind. We are so grateful for you coming and sharing your time with us today. So, if there was one takeaway that you wanted to give our listeners to walk away with so they can remember it, what would that be for you?
You have to learn how to master your own mind because the mind masters reality. Whatever you believe is going to happen, it will happen. Your brain will force that to be true. And depression is the anticipation of a negative future. Confidence and happiness is the anticipation of a positive future. But you see, they're both delusional. No one can predict the future. And are you letting your delusion make you miserable? Or are you allowing an intentional delusion to make you feel so positive, so motivated, so ambitious that you then go out and change the world? Because it's your state which determines your behaviors, which therefore determines your results. Shift your focus, shift your state, shift the behaviors, and your results will never be the same again.
Boom.
There we go.
Thank you so much, Ollie. You've been an inspiration, and I'm so excited to share what you do with our listeners. you for tuning in to The Sound of Self. We hope today's episode inspired you with new insights and reflections.
If you enjoyed our conversation or found it helpful, consider sharing it with a friend or leaving us a review. Help us reach more people like you on their self-discovery journey.